Hey guys, Mr. Z here, and today I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on how to compose music for games, specifically for a game trailer, or you can also use this tutorial for composing for film or other media using GarageBand. So, first we need to acquire the film that or trailer in this case, for which you're going to compose for. So once you have gotten your film from YouTube, from the list provided, in this case we are using the Cave gameplay trailer, I use a program called Wondershare or MyTube, which would be in your case installed on your computers ideally. And once you have copied that URL, either from the edit menu and clicking copy or using the keyboard shortcuts Command C, just click on paste URL inside Wondershare's home tab here, and it will begin to download. For the purposes of this tutorial, I have already downloaded it, so I'm just going to skip that part. Next, in GarageBand, in the latest edition of GarageBand 10.0, you just want to select Empty Project. Next, just select Software Instrument from this window, and it will just create a default session here. You can hide the musical keyboard with the Command K for keyboard, easy way to remember. Next, we want to import our video. So go to the Media Browser tab in the top right hand corner, go into the Movies tab, and you'll have the list of videos that you have here. So here is the Cave trailer that I downloaded, and just got to drag and drop into the middle window here. Alrighty. Next, I just want to shorten this screen here so I can still see what's going on. And if I press play from up here on this menu or the space bar, we can see the movie here. And it's been all imported quite fine. So because we want to compose new sounds for this trailer, we want to mute the current sound. So just using this icon here. Alright. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this classic electric piano track because that's a default track that comes with this session, but we don't need it right now. Alright, so next I'm going to close this media browser and I'm going to go into the Apple Loops section, which is primarily what you'd be using for a task like this. Now, the good thing about Apple Loops is it comes with all these filters that you can use to help all the different sounds have been categorized so that you can filter them and make it easier in finding which loops you actually would like. So, if you're not familiar with this trailer, it's actually quite an ominous and dark trailer. So, I'm going to go ahead and just find, let's say, a dissonant and dark loop here, and already I like the look of this organ here, and if you click on the loops, you can hear that they preview for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop this one into the session and make it a new track. So I'm just going to drag it below the audio here. Now the main thing to remember with composing for games, film and other media is more so you want to focus on what's happening in the film. So having said that, you want to accent scene changes or different hit points in the film. That is one reason why I'm leaving the click and count option off and not paying too much attention to the key signature and BPM options in the top menu. So using this handy slider tool up here, and being able to see the preview of the movie down here, I'm going to line up this loop for when the trailer actually starts, which is about here. So I'm just going to move my loop to the start of there. I'm just going to test that by pressing the spacebar. Alright, and that looks good. I'm just going to go ahead and watch this here, and I'm going to find where my scene changes. So about there, when it starts flashing, I want to end my loop there. So I'm just going to drag my slider tool to about there, and you can see the preview of the film here. Now with using loops, it's as easy as dragging your mouse to the top right hand corner of the loop itself, and you can see that little loop icon that appears, and just select it and drag it along for how long you want it to last. So I'm going to leave it about there. I'm just going to test that it ends where I want it to end. Good, I'm happy with that. So now the next little part, I want to put in a new loop after those flashes. So let's say about, let's just watch it again, about there, when this little cavern appears here in the film, right there. I'm going to use the other organ sound. It's important to, when you import your loops, always put them on new tracks. Main reason for this, it'll allow an easier time for editing and mixing later on. So I'm just going to make sure that this lines up here. Yep, I'm happy with that. And again, I want to end it when those new flashes come in. So going back a bit, there. So to shorten a loop, hover your mouse towards the end of the loop itself and you'll see this new icon appear here, and you can just shorten it to however you desire. So I'm going to shorten it just before that flash, about there, and I'm just going to check that it did what I want it to do. Yep, I'm happy with that. Now, now you may notice in the Apple Loops menu that some have a green note icon next to them, and then some have a blue wavelength icon next to them. The main difference between these two icons is that the green icons are MIDI loops. So as you can see here, if I click on this loop that we've imported previously, if you double click on it, you can see the piano roll and the MIDI notes that they represent. The handy thing about MIDI loops is that you can select an individual note, move it around to change the pitch, or you can even change the length of the notes as well. With the blue loops, the blue icon loops, they are existing audio that you won't be able to alter. So for the purpose of this little scene here, I want to grab an audio loop. So let's go something completely different, cinematic. Let's still say dark, using the handy filters here. That'll do. It's very psycho. I'm just going to move that over a little bit because I want it to start, remember, as that new scene comes in. That's better. And then because my movie fades to black here, I want to create some silence. I want to shorten that loop so it stops there as well. Let's just see that. All right, I'm happy with that. The last thing I'm going to show you, so here's where the action really starts to happen in my film here. So I want to put in a beat. So let's just go into using the filter option again, beats. Let's go dark and intense. Let's narrow it down a little more electronic. I'm going to use that first one here. So again, drag into a new track and make sure it lines up there. And I'm just going to check that. Awesome. Now let's just say this was going to be the primary beat that's going to last for most of my film here. Like I said before, you can just drag and extend it for as long as you want. All right. Now the last thing I want to do is remember you want to accent hits or points. So I really want to go back and accent those flashing points from before in these gaps here. So I want to take off these filters here. I want to go to, let's say, sound effects now, and I want some kind of hit or something like that will do. So I'm just going to drag and drop that in here, line that up with the hit there, And just for something, just to vary it a little bit, I'm going to put another one in and line it up there. So again, let's just see how that's going to sound. Alrighty. So it sounds a bit all over the place at the moment, but you get the idea. The whole idea is that you experiment with your different sounds and loops to find a combination that really works with whatever film you're working for. When you've finished your composition, how you export it, it's quite simple. You don't want to go share, because that will merely just share the audio you've created. We want to export this movie with the new audio that you would have created. File, movie, export audio to movie.